Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. That's the first time I've ever said that. What are you doing, Kat? You want to be on stream? I'm just getting wide-eyed. I don't know what that means. Okay. Do the thing. What, do the thing? I mean, come here. There's got to be someone pretty on this stream. And of the two of us, you're not happy about this, are you? Not really what his plan was this morning. I'll put you down. Anyway, maps. That's the actual thing we're here to do. So how about we do that? And then the stream gets far less interesting. I'm kidding. I think I'm kidding. Either way, we'll do the thing. Let me just press some buttons, get everything where it's supposed to be. Did you not? Don't know if that meow came through, but better not get too goddamn vocal while I'm doing this. We're starting with some turret. I think this is a prefab of the turret that Too Much Video Games used in here. There. What was it? twhl tower entry. That's what it was. I've already completely forgotten what the map name was. Prefab RB turret. I say I'm used to typing with these now, but particularly when there's something in front of the keyboard, I lose all ability to type. Just because it changes the angles just enough that all of a sudden I have to start typing downwards, and then these things are touching other keys and causing all sorts of problems.
HEV Mark IV protective system for use in hazardous.
The description implied this is from System Shock 2. I haven't played enough of that to be sure. I assume the button turns it off.
Atmospheric contaminant sensors activated. Vital sign monitoring. Activate power. Automatic medical system engaged. Defensive weapon selection system activated.
See, and in playing that TWHL tower entry, I was not aware that this is supposed to be from something.
Have a very safe day.
A good use of a generic texture, really. Those weird flashing ones, I've never seen those being put to good use. I can't turn the tank back on. Doesn't matter. That's what that is. One map down. That's the thing, we never know what we're going to see. Sometimes they're just short little examples. Sometimes they're problems that don't even work. Project Medieval, which is... That's a name. That's a name. Map is a bit too much of a huge open room. The engine is not very glad with it. I'm already interested. I love maps that aren't meant to be maps. Oh, project... No, it's not even medieval. It's medieval. That's like one step closer to being a Jazz Jackrabbit map. Maybe that reference is a little too obscure. I hope so. Those are the best kind of references as far as I'm concerned. Didn't say it was for deathmatch, but also it's probably for deathmatch. With lack of proper knowledge as of yet. I'll just load it up normally. Seems like a deathmatch map. Yeah, this is a deathmatch map. I just need to touch the right keys. That's all I ask. Flipping's a little strange on that. Probably not supposed to get up there. Is this a statue of Gina? No, it's just a element of HEV scene. I don't know why I thought it was Gina. Or why this statue is in this pose. That's... Look, make a statue of whatever you want. I'm not going to judge. Honestly, I think this map could be a little bit improved by just having some details outside of that wall. I'm saying this like this is criticism that is ever going to be received. This map was made years ago. It's just something to think about. If I was making it, and Lord knows this is better than anything I could make, I'm sure, but if I were making it, I would put something out there. Just a couple of things, just to make it seem like it's not just a diorama, I guess is the right word. Me? Something about this one amused me. Okay, this is the graveyard of references, apparently. I'm sure this is probably a reference to something as well, but I'm not familiar. Something down the well? Oh, life, of course. That's what water is. Seeing this is just a... If this is just a portal, at least another portal, this is very big and grand for no apparent reason. I'll come back to that one. I don't know if that was clipped or if it was just slightly wider than I was expecting. It's an interesting little map though. Kind of a mishmash of different styles. I definitely would have made sure that you couldn't see the level in here if you can't actually get to it though. Just make the wall go further, wait. Look, hindsight is 2020. Is there any reason for this hole other than to have a fancy light beam? Pardon me. That's an odd map. Also, seems like there's super not many weapons around for a deathmatch map. I wonder if this map was completed. It says completed, so we can only assume that's supposed to be it. We even definitely found some ammo. Did we find anything other than that? I completely forget what the gun's called now. The fast shooty one. The fast shooty one that lobs explosives. The blowy up and fast shooty one. I know what I mean. Capture the flag 3rd Street. Capture the flag Half-Life map. Trying to remember if that is in any way a default mode. Team play in Half-Life isn't something I've really dabbled with. Yeah, I think the only team play map I've ever played was Beer Fort, I think. I was going to say Rimrock did do some alternative game mode templates. Don't know that Capture the Flag was one of them. Is this actually for Half-Life? Maybe I should... It has only ever been tested once. Okay, great. Capture the Flag, 3rd Street. I'm curious, I'll admit. Well, obviously this is going to be in multiplayer, isn't it? Come on, CTF 3rd Street. What does do CTF? Team Fortress. Classic. That's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, where do I go? Well, I guess I can go that way, though that wasn't my intention. I think I could go that way too, but it didn't work. This seems like this is from something. But it's not clicking immediately what that something would be. I'm always on Team Robo because I have never defined those parameters. I don't know if I have ever... Okay, this lift specifically goes from the bottom. You literally cannot go down on it. I'm trying to think how you would make a lift like that. I'm pretty sure the one in Undertow is like that as well. But what setup of triggers would need that to happen? I assume this is the same. Yes. Need to flip that texture, I think. I can see why it's 3rd Street. They haven't got any other streets. It's the only street, it's not the 3rd Street. Use only in emergency. Use what? What is this machine? Also seems like a question that should probably be asked at some point. What is the map that we are capturing? Maybe this is for a mod of Half-Life Deathmatch. What is this from? This has to be from something. No one's just making statue models. I'm not saying they couldn't, but generally they don't. I think I've probably seen enough of this. Unless this leads somewhere interesting. Absolutely does not. I suppose it's always possible it's supposed to be for opposing force or something. I think a map like that would work in Half-Life, but I don't know. Doesn't matter, frankly. Tokyo Complex. Other. I assume this is for Global Offensive. I think this is in the workshop. Global Offensive. I should already have it then. Tokyo Complex. Who's playing Counter-Strike? Update. It better be a small update. 400 meg. I mean, that won't take that long, but I'm worried about what that'll do to my bitrate. How many maps do I think I get through per map vault? Good question. It varies greatly. Sometimes there's been particularly long mods and I don't get through one, but usually it's more like, you know, I feel like roughly I get through a page of the vault. Eventually this page will load and I can demonstrate what I mean. It's like I think on each one of these there's what, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I feel like roughly I get through one of these per in a stream, depending a little bit on how long I go and in particular how long the maps are. If it's a page full of like example maps and that sort of thing, then obviously you can blow through those in like a minute. Hello, Irby. Hello, everyone, in fact. Now people are finally actually showing up. I was going to move on to a different map while this finished downloading, but almost done. So I might as well just wait now. Let's see, where are we up to? We're almost done. I'm up to page 124 and there are 135 pages for the record. So like, if I really put my head down to it, if I like just did like a week of streaming, I could probably finish it. But I'm just not that dedicated. It's been quite a journey, yes, and I remember roughly 5 of the maps. That's not true. There are certainly some standouts, and some that I wouldn't expect. Some stand out because they were so astonishingly bad that they have a special place in my memory. Some stand out because they were astonishingly good. Look, as long as they're astonishing in one way or another, I'm not fussy. Workshop maps. Tokyo. I'm looking for the word Tokyo. I'm not seeing the word Tokyo. Did I actually subscribe to this map? Because I'm pretty sure I would have. I'm in Alt-Tab for a second. I mean, Delta Labs. That's not it. Is this the same map? Where's this screenshot? Okay, that is that. Apologise, it just had a completely different name to what it had in the vault. Casual, competitive, arms race, or deathmatch. I mean, I'm going to get rid of the bots anyway, so let's say deathmatch. I'll have one bot. On to everyone think shoot live map after this. No. No. I'll probably keep doing like just mods. I want to experience more mods. Mods are by far the most, well, usually by far the most interesting things that I bump into doing this. Like Timefall, even though Timefall is flawed, it's stuck with me. I remember Timefall. That was a thing. Bots kick. Bots. I did actually kick the bots, right? Bot add. Does bot add not do anything? Do I have to go bot add T? Whatever. I'll have one bot purely for entertainment's sake. Maybe I'll bump into them and they'll kill me. Meanwhile, I'll be looking at the map. You know, until this happens. I'm shit at Counter-Strike. I want to not get too distracted by the by the bot. I've got a map to look at. If I ever got kills in Counter-Strike, it was because I got lucky or happened to be in the right place at the right time. I have no tactical or sense of logic in how I do anything in Counter-Strike. I don't have the mind for it. This map's very clean. It feels like it would be fairly easy to get lost, but I suppose you do have a map, don't you? Is there a way to look at the full map? I suppose this is it. I always forget that there is a map. So, if that gives you any idea how good I am. I suppose this is where I started, wasn't it? I wanted to see the other spawn. Let's go to the other spawn. I'm sure I'll... See, I made a point about how bad it was so that I have an excuse every time I get killed by a bot. I don't know if... Are there really ladders like this where it's not actually on the surface you're climbing onto? Because that seems even less accessible than a ladder in general. That'll show him. I know I've technically got a scope. What's the fun of that? I assume this is the CT spawn. Oh, I don't like that. You could have put anything there to block this off or make it seem like you can't go up there, but it's just an invisible wall. Anything would have done. Anyway, I think we've seen enough. On the whole, that seems like a nice looking map. Valve style retinal scanner. That is exactly what it sounds like on the tin, isn't it? All I need is the BSP. I assume it's just a deathmatch thing that the chickens are scattered everywhere. Because that's not really a setting where there should be chickens. But then I'm pretty sure there was like that airport map and there were a bunch of chickens all over the airport as well. Maybe that was an airport as well, I'm not sure. It did say Delta, the name was Delta Labs. That didn't really seem that labby though. It seemed more like an airport. But what do I know? Why am I doing, that's not, map, scanner, with 2 N's, please. Sample. Are you saying they have to catch, kill, pluck, and cook their own chickens? Is this what you're implying? Because that's maybe a bit much. It's okay, you can do it. Thanks for letting me into the... into the green zen room, I guess? This is my ASMR space. How to change the path of a funk train. Also probably exactly what it sounds like. Except this one's an RMF, so I have to open it up inside. Is that how you interpreted that? The snot room? What am I doing? Map. Change funk train. I want a different funk train. The one I've got is not good enough. I'm trying to remember what the logic was behind that one map where I think it was one of Rimrook's templates where it was like, what was it? I think it was like a King of the Hill thing, and it had the slider that moved back and forth depending on who was standing on it. Which is impressive as far as gold source entities go. You can't deny that. Yeah, I wasn't cheating at Round Hunt Quarters. Don't know what you're talking about. Let's face it, Rimrook put the goddamn RMF in there. I'm allowed to do whatever I want with it. I think that looking at this behind looks like just a really bulky Gordon Freeman. Like massive shouldered Gordon Freeman. Dude's a tank. And this is just silly. I'm getting distracted by the goddamn models. I'm not even looking at the map. I mean, there's only so much I could look at anyway, because if I was going to guess, I would say that it moves towards one of these and only one of these. There's a trigger change target, so change the target of the train to a different thing, and it'll just move. You could press it in the middle of the moving and it'd start moving to a different one. Why are there two starts? You know what? I don't care. That's not a mystery I need answered. Something about this map name really tickled me just now. Nuke attack, like crossfire. Okay. Granted, that was funnier in my head before I realized it was an example map. I thought it was just like straight up labeling on the map name itself. Here's a map I made that's like crossfire, because everyone likes crossfire. Does everyone like crossfire? I don't mind crossfire. Honestly, after a certain point, I think with crossfire, the fact that there's a button that kills everyone on the map eventually just becomes sort of one of the least interesting parts of it, because it just kind of interrupts things. Maybe that's just me. I do like the sense of urgency it brings, even though you're just as likely to be killed by something else anyway. Why do you do this? Why did you put sound in the sound folder but not the map in the map folder? My feet are freezing. It's too dang cold. Do I have a blanket? I don't have a blanket. I wish I had a blanket. If it gets to a certain point, I will go and get a blanket. What am I doing? Map, nuke, attack. Don't attack a nuke. That's just inadvisable. Like, wait. Do I really have to go to all this texture work for an example map? I do like a fancy example map.
Please grab safety area.
I wouldn't have used plutonium as grout. Maybe that's just me? I mean, I also wouldn't make a room out of flesh. I think that's supposed to be the safe room. Oh, don't load an autosave. God only knows what we're up to. Never mind. It was just me messing around with this. I never got around to making that video. Maybe I still will. Tetrahedron walls. Another dang straightforward example map. This almost certainly doesn't have a BSP. I think I made it clear, Abby, that it's plutonium. I think I would know. God, if I turn this off... Honestly, I hate both of these lighting options. I wish I had the goddamn room light fixed, but I have not gotten around to that. True to the name, these are walls made of stuff. Tetrahedrons, I dare say. I tried to make lots of use of that in that one map that I made and keep talking about because it's the one map that I've made. It's hard. Hard to make a whole map like that. The tetrahedrons. Water currents demonstration. Demonstration of the unheard water current textures. Textured type? I don't know what this is about. So I'm going to load out the BSP because that's all I know. All I can do. That's not true. Not saying the name of this. What was it called again? Speedy Waters? Speedy Waters. That is the best water theme park name. Welcome to Speedy Waters, or it could be Speedy Waters Resort. I feel like that word naturally takes place after Speedy Waters. No, I'm turning this back on. I hate both of them. They're both bad. I'll live with it. Speedy Waters map, Speedy Waters. Or it's a terrible medical condition. I like these lines. Up. Or possibly DN. This says Duke Nukem, I believe is what that stands for. I mean, this is fun. Don't get me wrong. What the heck just happened to me? I'm pressing forwards and it's just freaking out. Did say it was buggy. Up. Take me upwards. I was told there was currents. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Seems appropriate. Espanto? Espanto. This map I didn't see any future or nothing relevant. I couldn't say it with a straight face. This map I didn't see any future or nothing relevant. I hope you can make it best. Add me on credits. WODs used. A couple of normal ones and then Garbage Man Forest. Okay. Maybe that's a known thing. I'm not familiar with Garbage Man Forest. Wait, did that actually work for once? Of course it didn't. Why did it do anything? It shouldn't have. It's just going to confuse me, make you think it suddenly works. You should. Here is my professional opinion. You should be able to copy paste things out of 7-zip. This is my political platform. I'm running on this. I'm going to make him do it. Because it always gets me. I always try and do it and it never works. The currents are sucking you into simulator whirlpool, I think. I mean, probably. I think that's what they were going for. It's just not... I feel like it wasn't portrayed very well. I mean, if you look at the RMF, it probably makes perfect sense. This is a very surface level look at these things. Is Sledge actually opening? Good. Did Sledge open twice? No. Good. Okay. We have a little fenced off radio-y area out in the forest, I guess. There's a DE map. I should open it in Counter-Strike. The WAD is in the wrong place. Give me a second. I have to work these things through my own brain because it doesn't work out. You know what? Let's just look at it like this. I think we'll get a good enough idea. It's the radio glass desk room. Table, I suppose, is what some people would call that. This isn't a real house. Guessing it's not going to be the only one. This also is not a real house. There's some market stuff going on in here. I can see how there's nothing future or relevant in it, which I think is what they were trying to say. How's that map? Forest of Garbage Men. Yes, well, I don't know what the Garbage Man is about. I don't know what the Garbage Man's deal is. I haven't even met the Garbage Man. I've only heard him referred to. Secret Depot. Here's my new CS map called Secret Depot. Yes. It's a map. That's what I'm getting out of this description. It's a map. It's probably an AIM map. Once again, why don't you put the map in a map folder if you put everything else in their appropriate folders? It's better than not putting anything in their appropriate folders, but it's one more folder. It's not that... It is absolutely not worth getting agitated about, as I am intimating. It's just annoying. As someone who has to do this for every map in the vault, you can see why that... Well, as someone who potentially has to do it for every map in the vault, you see why those a few extra clicks might get it a little irritating. Secret Depot. It's secret, mind you. If there is anything obvious in this map, I'm giving it 1 star. I'm going to go make a rating. Just based on the name alone. Observation. Okay, here's the observation area. I guess we can observe this yard. Some would call that a window. Do you put signs on every window in your house labeled observation area? I do. Otherwise, how would people know they can observe things there? Oh, hello, helicopter with a metal ladder coming out of it. Is this a funk vehicle? Funk vehicle, come on. Funk vehicle! This isn't a funk vehicle. Interesting use of lights in the floor. It's not even in the floor, it's just on the floor. Put it this way, that works infrequently enough in these maps that I'm always willing to try. Bomb. Hang on. Who knows, this might be a thumbnail yet. Not even bombs, they're grenades. Are grenades bombs? I suppose a grenade's bombs. I keep feeling like something feels off about this map, and I think it's that this whole area is undercover like this. I don't know, is this supposed to be an underpass? I assume this is a credit? I assume the map is also identical. Pebs asked whether this is a teleporter. I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way. Let's see what's going on underground again. Apart from the explodey stuff, is there... How do I keep missing this? When did I take so much damage? I love shattering whole crates with one bullet. Did that one not explode? Okay, now I'm annoyed. It's just this one. Do I have to hit them with a knife for them to explode? That's kind of weird, honestly. I don't know if I've seen this before. I'll leave you to it, little wood jib. I think I've seen enough. Detail Wasteland. Single viewpoint, single angle detailed area. Made for the purpose of looking at. And fire camera. Okay, so you can look at it, it's just not meant to be looked at. Half-Life 2? Half-Life 2. Something about the name Detail Wasteland is... Like, a lot of these maps are Detail Wastelands. Maybe not these maps, but there are a lot of maps in the vault that are Detail Wastelands. It's true. This close to getting blanket. This close. Map. I don't know why this reminded me of it, but now that someone has, well, you literally can't change what the camera's looking at all. It's just this. This could have been a screenshot. We do seem to have reached the point in the vault where there are basically no missing, like, broken links anymore. Like, I don't think I've had a broken link for like three streams now. When I go and download a bunch of stuff. I'm sure there's probably a couple still to come. But there are way less than there were, like, even a couple of months ago. Hang on, what was it? Cheats on... And what was it? Ent fire camera disable? There we go. Man, this looks like garbage when it's not from the one point you're supposed to be looking at it. I don't know what I'm hoping to see. I've already seen the map as it was intended to be seen. I wonder if I can jump off the edge. Disappointing, frankly. I always like a good map that you can fall off the edge of. Fightyard Alienation. Alien Nation? Or Alienation? I wish I had some more drink. Empty. Back to Half-Life, back to Counter-Strike. Fake ZHLT WOD. Thinking, I wish there was a button to take me back up to the top. There is a button that can take me back up to the top. What if I pressed it? DE Stroy School Pre-Alpha 1 test. This is a test of Pre-Alpha 1. This isn't even the start of the map. It hasn't been compiled yet. Great server. Destroy school pre-alpha, and it doesn't even fit in the thing. We're always technically in old map territory. One day we'll make it to modern map territory. Was there a fake ZHLT WOD because they wanted the null texture but not null? This doesn't look like the map from the screenshot. Did I fuck up? I did fuck up. What map are we looking at? Oh, D Story School Pre-Alpha 9. That's not even the same number. I present you one of the biggest maps for Counter-Strike that is playable. That's a bold claim. We'll go back to Catch Days one, I guess. Apparently this isn't alienation, I just feel alienated. Oh, and we've ascended. No, never mind, we've descended. Seen enough of that one anyway. Okay, where's this one then? If that isn't where... There it is. There it is. I apologize for misrepresenting your work. I think that was Adma who made that other one. And also Catch too. These things aren't the same. Backyard Alienation, the real one this time. Notes, unfinished. To do textures, lower bridge section, skybox. I like these little, like, slices of highlights. It's quite a nice effect at a distance. Are there tiny birds around this tree? What are those things circling? Can't tell what that's supposed to be, but oh. No, the note said that the texturing wasn't done. This is very much that same effect from Fallout. Did Kajido do Fallout as well? This is probably safe. Oh, it is safe. Well, okay then. I like the idea that this giant beam of energy has bubbles in it. Something about that idea just tickles me. This is very stylized, and it's quite nice. Which is why I wonder, like, the notes say that the texturing isn't finished. Could it not just look like this? This very much has a style in its simplicity. You know, being what is basically just a flat shaded map, but with these little strips of highlight. And heck, even in some areas like over here, there's a lot of work being put in just by the shadows. There's a lot of subtle color changes happening. Like these little sort of what color is that? Is that like a teal? That's not a teal. I don't even remember what color a teal is, but like, I don't know, it feels very nicely balanced stylistically. Is this the Pokemon move Bubble Beam? Is that what we're learning? Is that what it looks like? Like this thing that's just chasing around the middle here. Still not sure how the sparks are attached to it. Because there was something like that in Fallout as well. It looks like there's maybe a beam coming off of the thing that's moving around. So I wonder if that's just like one of those, like, set up to be like a random beam that just strikes every now and then attached to the thing. And the sparks are coming from that. Because that's an interesting solution to that problem. I mean, it's quite possible that the beams are the point and not the sparks, but I'm more interested in the sparks than the beams. You can barely see the beams. Psychedelic by Trempler. Uses only Half-Life 1 vanilla content, industrial acid themed. Is industrial acid different to regular acid? Oh, this is BSP. I have fucked up. I have made problems. Task manager, please get me out of this. Thank you. I hope the stream has not died because I did that. It could happen. It could. I think that map also could stand to have, say, Half-Life Deathmatch entities rather than Counter-Strike ones. But that's just me saying that I don't like Counter-Strike that much. There's something about Counter-Strike that I like, but it's not Counter-Strike itself. Like, as a whole product, I don't know that Counter-Strike is for me. But there's elements of it that I like. I just don't know what they are. That said, I would like a Half-Life Deathmatch map in that style. I like this color. I don't know why. I just do. That's a powerful highlight color. The old orange-blue contrast. Mostly orange, granted. Ooh, curved ramps. Watch out. Curved ramps are cool and all as far as Gold Souls goes, because that's not supposed to be possible. But yeah, you just can't look at them too closely because they're not actually pretty like that. For some reason I was expecting more. Maybe it's just because it's Trampler and Trampler has a tendency to make like ridiculous Half-Life maps, and this one's somewhat reserved. Say reserved. Why are these vents? Why? That's the question. Why are they? Still, as a relatively Half-Life themed one, it's not uninteresting. Does anywhere really need flowing rivers of goop? That's the Trampler gun. You're getting fancy with little brushwork things of your own name. Where's this draining to? I want to know what the purple zen thing is. I want to know if I can teleport through this. I bet that's probably an exit because it's out of reach. Was Trampler the one who did the map that was a Stalkfire cross... Did I say Stalkfire? Is that what it's actually called? Stalkyard and Crossfire mashup? Because this kind of gives me vibes of that in some ways. Not sure what it is about it. Psychedelic Final? I guess this is a different version of the same map, perhaps? Trumpets? Okay. I wonder how different this will be. I would assume fairly different if it's got its own entry. But then you can never tell. Not until you look. What was it called? Psychedelic. Oh, this is quite different. This isn't Half-Life themed anymore. This isn't Half-Life textures anymore. Doesn't have the strong highlights. Still has the orange. Curved ramps look nice with these red lights on them. I feel like this is mostly just different texturing, but also there's a little bit, some little changes in there. As far as the structure goes, I assume the layout's more or less the same though. Ah yes, this is what I need. It is well textured, yes. I'm not saying curved ramps are bad. I'm not slagging off curved lamps. It's just like when you look closely at them, and that you realize they're not so much curved. It's just like bumpy. It's not an especially appealing effect, however. This probably is fun to play. There's lots of verticality. That is some goop. Imagine if that could be lit dynamically. That's a very, as far as goop textures go, that's a very striking one. There's a lot of contrast in between the dark and the light. There's some sections where they're just straight up black in comparison. It's a nice goop texture is what I'm saying. Herbie, here's your next goop. This is the goop you should aspire to. Put this goop in the core, etc, etc. Here's a shit map made by a shit person. I'm sorry, I'll stop. This map was never intended to be good. The creator has told me. Apparently I already have that. I don't think I ever downloaded this or held onto it or care about it in any real way. I think I made this when I was just sort of like experimenting with using a bunch of curves in maps, like cylinders and arcs, and trying to make interesting maps doing that. I failed. This was just something that I was messing about with and thought, I can make like 5 changes and turn this into a map. Not a good map. And also it's tiny because the edge of the map is just over there. I just thought, I'll make a map out of a bunch of circles, and I don't know, I guess I'll make a yin and yang symbol. I can do that. There's no law against it. At least not that I'm aware of. Also have no idea about weapon balancing, so I'm sure that's trash as well. And that's it. We've seen the whole map. That's it. That's the map. I guess technically we've got a gun on at the top as well, but I didn't do that. Yeah. like I say, that was just an experiment. Not something I have any particular love for or interest in. Right, we now have a map called Saddam Village, which is always interesting, wondering the precise motivations of people making maps like this, because God only knows what they actually were. Res, I think I should. Right, I will copy everything in. There's a smoke sprite. I guess I'm gonna copy everything in. God knows what's in this txt file, but I'll look at it anyway. Sprite. I'm certain that I would have a smoke sprite, but apparently I didn't have a smoke sprite. You surprised me. How, in the entirety of what we've been doing, no one made a sprite called Smoke? It's impossible, right? CIA discovered an important village where Saddam Hussein harbor to his Iraqi Republican Guard members of rescue the captured American soldiers. Doesn't look that captured. Doesn't look that soldier-like. Let's assume nothing works. I don't know that it really needed the plot. I mean, I don't know that the plot helped it. Hold on. This was made in 2016. I don't know if that's actually notable, but it feels like it should be. Also, I think we've seen enough of this map. Yeah, but in 2016? Was that? Look, time is a blur and is fake, and I don't understand it. But that seems out of place. Maybe it was a re-upload, possibly. Who knows? Damn stoned. Let's get damn stoned A7. I'm not going to read the description. I think it should speak for itself. I know it didn't have a TXT though, so... Did I mess up? DM stone, not DE stoned. Apologies. Uh-oh. Problems. Sprites flame too. Okay, well, I can't. It's difficult to drink that with one hand, especially if I'm trying not to mess up my beautiful face. What was it? flame 2. Flame 2? Flame 2. How about whenever there are sprites missing, I like to just mess with it. So flame 2 can be... How are there so little sprites? Right, palm. Flame 2 is a palm. I hope there's not too many of these. Alright, so somewhere there's going to be trees that shouldn't be there. With that in mind, okay, immediately the view distance is a problem. Sorry, is there supposed to be a way out of here? Can you put a ladder or something? I pressed use on something. It's quite dark considering how bright it is outside. Must be cloudy, I guess. I'd maybe put some lights in at all, anywhere, ever. Table is crazy. The water's not moving nearly that powerfully. I thought this might be something, but no, there's just a square of ground that's been smashed inward. In fact, there's lots of holes. There's this... Who drilled this hole through this solid rock? I love it when mods just have, like, meters and meters of, like, an explosion that goes through, like, an absurd amount of rock. It's one of my favorite things because it's ridiculous. Was there something I was looking for? Or was I just looking for something and not finding it? Oh, this is fun. I enjoy it. I think that's the tree. That's what I was looking for. I think this is it. A tiny palm candle. Also, that glowing sprite, way too powerful. Way too powerful. How that candle could light up the whole map, but it didn't. Nothing did. HOE NPC mission failed message. With the FGD of Here of Evil. Can you hear the evil? They made a whole map about hearing the evil. I'm going to open this up in the RMF because I'm not going to go ahead and download a mod, just look at a problem map. Or an example map, maybe? It's an example map. I'll just open it up without the FGD and we'll see how broken that is. I did it again, didn't I? God damn it. At some point, I'm going to have to stop using Sledge. I say using as though I'm mapping anything at the moment. That was slightly more water than I intended to put in my face. Player load saved, multi-manager. This seems like something that doesn't need a separate mod to be an example. It's just this seems like it's just a thing where if you kill the Barney and you get a message saying, "Oh, game's over." What do I know? I'll tell you, nothing. Tiny town. Half-Life multiplayer map based on Tiny Town map from GTA 2. I think I played GTA 2 as a kid, and was that game good? I don't remember making any progress in that game. It was just run around and fuck around. I assume there is something of a I don't know if I want to try it again. Weird. Where am I going? Valve, maps, Tiny T. Tiniest T you've ever seen. John says, I'm here for the last 5 minutes. I have no idea how long I'm going to go, but I've only been here for nearly an hour and 20, so I'm definitely going for longer than that. At least 10 minutes, possibly 40, maybe even more than that. Here's the thing, now that I don't have Sword Our Souls going at the same time, nothing matters. I can be here for as long or as short as I feel like. So basically I'll just do this until I feel like I'm getting bored. Or the chat has completely died or something. Tiny T. Tiny T? Tina Turner. Where is the letter I? Like, I could go and get a blanket and another can of soft drink, and then I'd be happy to chill for a while. What if I hawk it here? Everyone go find my curious cat and ask me questions, because no one's asked anything. Yeah, I'll get sustenance, I'll get warmth, and I'll chill my shit. None of it matters. And oh, I fell in the tiny water. It hurts. I'm sure I had a train of thought just now, but it has disappeared somehow. Honestly, the framing of this being from something, does it need it? Because this is just... I hope this is familiar to someone somewhere for some reason, because it's not to me. That's pretty much what I remember about GTA 2. Lots of nooks and crannies, and I never knew where anything was or how to get to anything or why you play the game. Look, I understand why as a gameplay reason someone might clip off places that are too high, but as someone who loves gorse jumping around the place, I just feel disappointed every time I hit one. And I say that as it's a sensible thing to do. I did it in my own map, and it is a shame that will live with me for years. I think we've seen enough of this map. Doesn't look like there's much to it. It's a recreation of something and it's good. Howdy. I don't know. Info teleporter countdown. Sound effects are not part of info teleporter countdown. I don't understand what this entity does, and I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to look at the map. An example map. It'll tell me everything I need to know, right? For episode 2. I feel like we don't do a whole lot of source stuff in this. And look, I'm not picking or choosing. This is just what comes up. I'm going through the list, and there's just not that much of it. Should I stream Map Labs? Like some of the stuff that's been done for that? It has been suggested to me, and I would. I try to look into how you actually get in that. I find that Discord channel confusing. I don't know where stuff is. Did I actually copy something just now? I did. Okay, info teleport countdown. This is the map I'm looking for. Usual mix of really good maps and so-so ones. I mean, I would do stuff for that. Someone explained it to me as there being like different sizes of things that they get submissions for. And I feel like with my, let's say, inability to stick with things, maybe if I just got in on some of the smaller stuff that happens there, maybe that would be good. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I'd actually finish something if it's smaller scale. It probably wouldn't be good. Three to 4 weeks, yeah. Month, week, day, yeah. How often did the day ones happen? I tried to find this stuff in the Discord channel. I don't know where anything is in that thing. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm shit at navigating the internet. Maybe I'm old. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just repeating myself if I continue. They've been like 6 or so over 2. I would have thought those would be more common if they're shorter scale. It seems like that would be the excuse of it, you know, smaller ones to pepper out the larger ones. But look, I don't run a community. It's not my area. I was really expecting some kind of a teleport to happen just now. I have no idea what entity is being tested here. What is being exampled here. I guess I'm done. Data core for Black Mesa. When I was going through downloading maps, this made me realize that, hey, Black Mesa's actually been out forever, hasn't it? It just never clicked that I would have a Black Mesa map, because I came to this and thought, Black Mesa, but that just released like a couple of months ago. It totally didn't. It totally didn't. In no way did it release a couple of months ago. You know, except in that one way that it did. Which means this, I do have Black Mesa in this list. This is going to be the first and quite possibly only time I'm going to open up Black Mesa again after I finished it. I'm going to say I didn't like Black Mesa that much. I didn't much care for Black Mesa. I hope that's not a take. I hope that is not too hot. It's just... Late release, recent, original, 2012, probably broken, old maps generally are. Okay, yes, well, we'll see. I've already forgotten what the map's called. I assume it would be in multiplayer? Host? Can I ensure that this isn't going to be joined by anyone? Because I'm not here to play multiplayer. What is this interface? I guess I could just do it through the console. Let's do it through the console? Steam Workshop, that's probably what I'm thinking of. Browse, install, no, I definitely had one installed. What was it, Data Core? This one, look, I'm subscribed already. It's there. Does that mean it's not, I assume that means it won't work. How do I get the console? Is it in the kit somewhere in here? Yes. Developer console, yes. Map. I assume it's called Data Core. I think it was interesting to see most of the areas in Half-Life reimagined. I think most of it looks pretty good. And Zen was pretty, and I hated it. Right, immediately I'm seeing... Oh, is deathmatch a thing? Does this not have autocomplete in any way? Tabbed autocomplete, okay. Deathmatch. Nope, nope. Hang on, okay. Calm down. Deathmatch 1. Restart. Did that do anything? Let's say no. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I thought Zen was interminable. I'm something of an apologist of the original Zen. I know a lot of people don't care for it that much. I think Zen is fine. But Black Mesa's, again, very pretty. It's a very interesting take on Zen. It's just too long. Every part of it is too long. By the time I was nearing the end, I wanted it to be over so badly. I feel kind of bad about saying that, but it's... It was... I don't like it. I don't like it. This dude's just chilling. They're not dead. It's just they're a messy eater. They spilled some food on the floor. They're fine. They're just relaxed. They're just vibing. This glass is probably soundproof. There's probably some you know, some chill beats playing in there. Just taking a nap. Taking a kip. Where's the interesting parts of Data Core? I don't remember Data Core that much, and I suspect I have a sneaking suspicion that's because Data Core isn't that interesting as a map. Is Data Core isn't the one that has the hidden snarks, is it? Or is it? I know one of them has a couple of hidden snarks. I've done a loop on myself, so I've seen enough anyway, but... Infinite Egon sections. Look, I don't think the Infinite Egon sections were that bad in and of themselves. As previously mentioned, I think there's too much of it. Like the Infinite Egon thing could really work well as like a climax. Like one larger section that says, hey, you're getting near the end of this thing. Here's the superpower bullshit that will just let you breeze through everything. But then it just kept going. Like I thought, oh, this section feels like it's building up to something. But then it just kept building. And it kept building, it wasn't going anywhere. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. The Black Mesa Zen is too long. That's my opinion. That's my entire opinion. That's about as nuanced as it needs to be. DE Goo Facility? Irby's gonna love it. I wonder if Irby appreciates just being typecast as the person who did the goo. Even though it wasn't him, he just played the thing and said goop a lot. And yet, he is now forever the Goop Man. Counter-Strike, apparently. I was thinking dev textures might mean source, but no. People seem mostly pretty good about labeling things correctly these days. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I am getting rid of the C-Strike folder in the C-Strike folder. What the hell? Just trying to confuse me because I'm not paying that much attention. Had to stretch it because I figured the wait for a short thing wouldn't go over well with the consumer. Yep, I mean, probably. I was one of those people who didn't touch Black Mesa until it was fully released. Because, you know, I'm weird like that. I have so many games on my backlog that I'm just waiting to actually release before I touch them. And like, let's see, Satisfactory. Is Hades released yet? I wouldn't mind playing Hades, but I won't touch that until it's finished either. I don't think Raft is very good, but I'd like to see what that is when it's finished. And so on and so on. I did that with Black Mesa. So I didn't have that kind of a wait, because I wasn't exactly itching to play it anyway. But yeah, like playing that whole thing for the first time the whole way through, the contrast between like the bulk of Black Mesa and then the Zen section is so apparent. So apparent. It just... the whole thing changes gears completely. It's almost like you're playing a different game by that point. I've completely forgotten what map I was doing. DE Goof Facility. Maybe it's Goof Facility. I love a Myst-type game with the Zen chapter graphics, but not an FPS. Could you turn Myst into an FPS? I haven't played Myst yet. Also, did you ever check your list to see if you've got a spare key for that thing you mentioned? The real, whatever, master version, master sword, master Myst, Myst master. Half-Life Zen is a big shift in tone too. I feel like it's not nearly as stark a shift. I mean, you're not wrong. I like this flat-shaded goo. I don't know why, because it's kind of nothing, but but I like it. I guess that's the goo this facility is based upon. Dealing with the goo economy. A key that may or may not already be used. Okay, I'll accept that, thank you. Is it on your list when it shouldn't be? The problem with, I feel like, well, one of the problems I have with like dev textured maps like this is that because it all looks the same, I have no idea if I'm like covering areas I've already been in. It all looks the same. I think dev textured maps can work, but usually don't. That's my position. I mean, this one's a slightly odder case because this isn't a real dev texture. I say real, it isn't a standard dev texture like in Half-Life 2. I mean, someone somewhere made those textures and made a map out of it, which is a choice. Moving terrain example. I love a moving terrain example. We've already seen like 4 of them, but what's another one? We got BSP WAD. What's this all about? Moving terrain X. So what's everyone up to this morning? Or this afternoon, or this tonight, or whatever it is in your local area? It's this morning for me. It is this morning for another hour and 17 minutes? That sounds right. Map. Moving terrain X. I'm pretty sure there was some underscores in there. Okay. Oh, this is from that one thing. What was this from? Military duty. That's what it was. Is that it? Yeah, that was it. That was a weird mod. I can't move, obviously. I'm embedded in the chair. I bet it looks real good if I do this. Can you like do settings for third person? Like, what is this sideways view? How is that useful to anyone? Other than going, yep, that's Gordon Freeman. This tiny tuft of hair at the back of his head. Or possibly a claw. I can't help but wonder if this is literally just the sequence from Military Duty. Although with third person we can see where it's like fading in. I always like a good one of these. War 3 DM Snow. I like this screenshot. I hope the map holds up. War 3D M Snow. War 3D M Snow. For when you need your war in 3D. I love it when I press one button and I find the map in this giant list of maps. That is, oh, Is that supposed to be a cat? Created by a cat. I think this is the eponymous cat. I've used that word incorrectly, I realise. Those mountains are not far away. I was... It's... Okay. It didn't use the name. I was wondering, but this is literally an ice world. It's been a while since we've seen an ice world. I mean, it's very fancy. I like these. Ow. I mean, fair, but I wasn't expecting that. A double Well, okay, we won't find out like that. How do I go down? By this point, I haven't gotten rid of the starting round time. I'm not going to. It's a pretty decent one of those effects. It's just a sprite, isn't it? I really expected the water to be freezy. I've played Minecraft and also Monster Hunter Tri. Should be able to knife a fish. It's a fancy ice world. Oh, bird. Because that's what you do with birds in old Source and Source games. Or Source games, but... Okay, colours. Colours. I see colours. Let's look at the colours. White Yard, Massachusetts. Is this what Massachusetts looks like? I wouldn't know. I guess I'll go until I finish the maps that I've got downloaded. It's good a spot as any to stop, huh? Warp, Massachusetts, DE, Massachusetts, Fight Yard, Massachusetts, Fight Yard, Massachusetts, Night, and Fight Yard, Massachusetts, Pumped. One of these things is different to the others. Also, there's a WOD called Dunksma. I'm not sure what that's about. Dunksma? I don't know. Which Massachusetts do we look at? Or do we look at all the Massachusetts? I think we'd probably get the best spread if we look at the 3 fight yards, personally. We'll go presumably daytime, nighttime, and whatever Pumped is.
Okay, let's go.
I've made textures before. Looked a lot like this. Like right up here, apparently. I assume that's what that means. Coffee swill and tiny donuts. Is there, if this is a drive-through, shouldn't there be some kind of a window? Guess that's it. Yeah. Have to go the whole way around. Also, these, I didn't realize these are just straight up branded places. Right? I mean, are they competing or are they... They're the same shop. Do they need to? It really is just reflected, huh? I mean, this one's pink and orange, and this one's orange and pink. They're completely different. Like the fact the walls are all orange in that one, but they're orange and pink in this one. I think this one's got more style. This one wins. I'm not even going to try and spell Massachusetts. How does the alphabet work again? Let's see what this place looks like at night time. Those probably don't need to be that big. Probably not. Donuts aren't that big. Krispy Kreme Dunkin' Donuts would have been better. Versus Dunkin' Donuts. Probably. I mean, I don't have the answers. Is this fence always here? This, true to its name, this is the same map, but at night time. Also, the moon is huge. Just gigantic. Were these streetlights not here before? I feel like most places just sort of leave those in during the day rather than removing them every single day. Plaster those holes in the moon. God. Gotta do something to keep from being bored if you God, don't you? Okay, now we're looking at pumped. I don't know what this means. So far, an awful lot like night. It's because there's only pump shotguns. God damn it. I thought that could have been interesting. God damn it. The 3 maps. M4A1 indoor, AK-47 indoor, and CS indoor. It's the indoor map pack. I feel like there are other maps that have been indoors though, so... You know, not the first one. I have a feeling these are all the same map, but with different weapons. I do remember, I went and figured out what was the first map uploaded after I started going through the vault. And I will be sure to tell people when we reach that point, but it's not for a while yet. Taking a screenshot would have probably taken less effort than making the image. Yes, probably. What were we doing? M or A1 indoor. This, I was going to say this sure looks like one of those maps, but no, Lucy Lawless is here. No, it's completely different. Always smacks of ice with all these barriers on the side. Okay, let's see if AK-47 aim, whatever this map was called, is different. Or if it's the exact same thing. Sure looks like the exact same thing. Do you think CS indoor is also the exact same thing? CS indoor is somehow the exact same thing. Are you the hostage? Is there one hostage? How are you supposed to get a hostage? How are you supposed to get from there to there and back without getting murdered on a map like this? I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a whole lot of respect for maps like that. Sorry. Dukoff Plaza. Layout is based on my favorite Call of Duty World at War map, Dome. Once again, I'm going to ask that anyone who is more familiar with Call of Duty tell me whether this is actually that, because I wouldn't know. Not my area. Did you copy? Good. Dukoff Plaza. We've got a lot of Counter-Strike maps this time. I feel like we kind of got past those, but now they're back. It's tough clicking on things correctly. Woe is me. It doesn't feel like Call of Duty, but what do I know? Do I hear the Italy thing? There's a slice of music somewhere. I think I hear the slightest hint of a tune. This ladder so bright. I always like that there's never any justification for the music on maps like this. It's just, oh, there's some sound coming from somewhere here. You just walk in a sewers like that? Have we seen enough? Is anyone familiar with Call of Duty seen the and how it's reminiscent? Because I don't know. It seems like an okay map. Bunker. Bunker. We've been working on and off for ages, redesigned it heaps of times. Working on it sporadically for a long time, didn't really turn out the way I originally planned. Talking about for all you opposing force, people, so on, so on, so on. The usual. Opposing force, okay. You don't get many opposing force maps. We really don't. Should I play through opposing force again? I don't think I want to. Raises the question of why I asked the question, but there were grunts. This might be single player. Wake up staring at the poster of a person surfing. Speak to me, friends. I assume me having nothing is by design, yes?
I'm sorry, Corporal. This is a restricted area.
Oh, what are you gonna do about me being here?
I'm sorry, Corporal. This is a restricted area.
I'm just sitting at my desk telling people who walk in that they can't be there and not doing anything about it. I think this is the map. I think we've seen it. We're done here. Unless there's more. Is there more? SV. If I can type correctly, cheats. Oh god, SV. Sheets 1. Start. No lip. I really should have this stuff, but I want something by now. That's the whole map. Okay. It's a bunker. As we all know, no one needs a way out of bunkers. You just lock yourself in and you're fine. D-E-V-I-A. E-E-E-I-E-I-O. There's another one that I'm just not going to read the description. I want it to speak for itself. The screenshot does look better than the other one though. Unless, hang on. It almost looks saucy, so I wanted to check. Not saucy as in, like, sexy. Just, I'm sure you got that, but I'm clarifying just in case there's any kind of confusion. And I've forgotten the name. Via. Diva. Divia. Divia. It's kind of a nothing name, is it? Unless it stands for something. Like this sort of vaguely cartoonish sack? Terrorists don't start in a sack. Shack that the terrorists start at. I feel like the map is oddly contrasted, but in a way that's not necessarily unpleasant. I think it's because these trees are pitch black over there. There's a little touch of style going into that. Everything feels a little washed out, but in a good way. I suppose desaturated is the word I'm looking for. Just because the stark colours, like some things that seem like they wouldn't normally be, are just basically featureless, like these rails. It's quite a nice effect. These stark red things. I mean, granted, there's some blue in there because textures. Yeah. I have no idea where I am. There's the shack. Okay. I think I've seen enough. It's an interesting looking map. Is it fun to play? As usual. Can't tell you. Couldn't tell you if I wanted to. DGoo facility. I guess this is an updated version of the one that was previously done. Fun in that one screenshot is aggressive. Don't know if you all caught that. Just like punching you in the face with a pun. Yeah, custom sounds, custom textures. Marina's Precious Goo Corporation is under attack. Yeah, whatever. Ropes are always ladders unless they're the only justification for the terrorists being there. Then those are the Counter-Strike rules. No idea if this is anything like the map we played earlier. This room looks vaguely familiar. I remember the bright green stuff. I don't know about this cartoony look. It's all a little too simple, I guess. That's not to say simplicity is bad, even in a cartoony style, but it's just a little flat. Like, it's not just cartoony, but there's also like no shading whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being picky. I wonder if I look back at the recording and realize I've been running the exact same route both times. I wouldn't know. Also, could use some ambience. I always notice it because I realize that when I'm not saying anything, there is literally nothing to hear. My bars are moving slightly, but I don't hear anything. Must be very subtle if it's there at all. The jibs that don't match the style in the slightest. You can do custom jibs, can't you? Or am I thinking of a spirit thing? Could be a spirit thing. Gets a little bit blurred sometimes. Anyway, that's the last map that I had downloaded, so I might as well stop there. Which is always a nice little chunk that we take out of these things. Where are we up to? Is there anything notable next time coming up? Apparently another version of the exact same map, which is always fun. Yet another Massachusetts. Mr. X88, very much covering the bases that have already been covered. Snark Pit remake, which we'll see whether that's justified next time. Odd stuff, odd stuff, odd stuff. I'm gonna go and do something. I know these outros are always so good. Before I leave, I'm gonna complain. For some reason, in this particular layout where it's just me, I can't have this go out to the edge of the screen because A, if I try and have a different, if I try and do a different source of the webcam, then it straight up doesn't work. The camera doesn't like going to two different sources. If I try and use the same one, then it keeps the cropping that I had in this layout, because I don't want this to be like unnecessarily wide. I have it nice and neat down here in the corner. When I go to this, I can't have this go out the full way. As far as I can tell, OBS is not giving me any kind of option to use the same thing but without the cropping filter on a different scene. That's my little bit of complaining. You probably don't give a shit. Fair enough. I just wanted to bitch about that. Bye everyone.